It was just after midnight when the silence of the dry borderlands of southeast Burkina Faso was shattered by a sound. Not loud or obvious, but a sharp, high-pitched mechanical whir that cut through the darkness. Seconds later, chaos rained from the sky. A single unmanned drone, flying low and deadly quiet, locked onto a convoy moving without headlights or markings. Inside were mercenaries armed with Western rifles, encrypted comms, and advanced night vision, but they never stood a chance. In one blinding flash, the lead vehicle exploded, the second flipped and burned, and the rest scattered, too late. The drone circled back, again and again, until nothing remained but scorched earth and smoke. At first, no one knew who ordered the strike, what kind of drone it was, or how it found the convoy. Then the truth surfaced. Captain Ibrahim Traoré himself had authorized it. The drone was a foreign prototype, North Korean in origin, but enhanced with Russian tech, AES encryption, and satellite triangulation data from Mali and Nigeria. This wasn't just retaliation. It was a warning to mercenaries, to their backers, and to every African nation pretending that the fight for sovereignty wasn't already at their doorstep. Burkina Faso wasn't on defense anymore. It was taking the fight to its enemies. What investigators found in the wreckage shocked even senior officials. These weren't random militia fighters. They were highly trained professionals with biometric-locked American rifles, French satellite radios still connected to encrypted networks, and tactical maps in English marked with Burkina Faso's resource sites. Fingerprints revealed some were Nigerian ex-special forces, recently pulled from elite units. They had no insignias, no tags, no IDs, just ghosts. Offshore financial trails exposed shell companies from Abu Dhabi to London and Paris. And intercepted phone recordings kept repeating one chilling code name, Falcon Hand, a shadowy alias tied to sabotage operations in the Sahel. One mercenary's phone even listed a contact saved as DC Handler, suggesting direct foreign coordination. Burkina Faso's intelligence confirmed the threat was real. 2 days before the strike, an intercepted encrypted call mentioned Operation Broken Spine, and a satellite image of Traoré's prized oil refinery project in Kédougou. The message was clear. The mercenaries weren't on their way. They were already there. Suspicious convoys moved under the cover of night, bypassing checkpoints. One surveillance photo even captured a soldier with a Nigerian military tattoo and a Western peacekeeping patch. That was the final straw. Traoré summoned his war council. The decision was swift: deploy the drone and terminate the threat before they reached the refinery. This wasn't about revenge. It was survival. And so the NA-7 drone was launched, an indigenous prototype named after an ancient Mossi warrior queen, built with North Korean engineering, upgraded with Russian targeting systems, and encrypted with Burkina Faso's own AES interface. It could fly over 800 kilometers without refueling. Armed with precision missiles and fragmentation warheads, designed to neutralize convoys without damaging infrastructure, it was the perfect weapon for modern defense. In just 12 minutes, guided by AI-driven intelligence, the convoy was annihilated with 0 civilian casualties. Even U.S. analysts admitted privately, "We don't have anything that precise in the field." The world's reaction was immediate. Burkina Faso, once dismissed as technologically behind, had proven it could conduct an autonomous high-tech strike without Western oversight. Nigeria's government remained silent, but inside Abuja, panic spread. Biometric scans confirmed the dead mercenaries were indeed former Nigerian elite soldiers, trained at foreign-run facilities linked to Western funding. But admitting this risked a diplomatic crisis, so silence was their only option. African media, however, exploded with coverage, asking whether Nigeria was attempting to destabilize Traoré under Western pressure. Soon, investigators traced communications logs to servers in Langley, Virginia, the nerve center of the CIA. Symbols on recovered maps matched old French military blueprints from Operation Barkhane. The verdict was undeniable. This was a coordinated foreign proxy operation, designed to cripple Burkina Faso before its independence movement gained momentum. Why? Because Traoré had crossed every Western red line, nationalizing oil, kicking out French troops, rejecting IMF loans, and declaring that Africa was no longer for sale. AES leaders in Niger, Mali, and Guinea rallied behind Traoré, activating Protocol Zero, a zero-tolerance policy for foreign interference. Across Africa, the drone strike became a symbol of resistance. Streets filled with celebrations. Students painted their faces with war stripes, waving AES flags. Social media erupted with Afrobeat remixes of the explosion footage and murals of the NA-7 drone. For many, Traoré had done in one night what 50 years of diplomacy could not: prove Africa could fight back. The West scrambled. Washington called for restraint. Paris warned of regional instability, and NATO went into emergency meetings. But Traoré was unshaken. Standing before cameras, he declared, "You armed the mercenaries. You trained the saboteurs. You lit the fuse. And now that we've struck back, you call us the threat. Burkina Faso is not your puppet. Our borders are not your playground. If defending our land makes you uneasy, good. That means it's working." His words went viral, shared even by Westerners disillusioned with their governments. Soon after, the Alliance of Sahel States launched Operation Iron Shield, a historic military pact between Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Satellites were reassigned, joint patrols launched, and real-time encrypted communication linked the capital. Other nations, including Guinea, Chad, and the Central African Republic, began talks to join. What the West saw as escalation, Africans called something else: the birth of Africa's first true military force. For the first time in over a century, Africa was no longer taking orders. It was drawing its own line in the sand. Standing atop Koudougou's refinery platform, surrounded by engineers and soldiers, Traoré was asked if he feared retaliation. His answer echoed across the continent: "Fear is for those who borrow power. We built ours." And with that, the message was unmistakable. Africa is no longer on the defensive. It is united, it is awake, and it is ready to protect its sovereignty. The line has been drawn. The world must now decide: will it respect Africa's new power, or dare to cross it?